Welcome everyone to the Cut Automotive Podcast with your host Mike. Today we'll be continuing on the 12-step selling process. The first episode was on the meat and greet, which again, I believe is the meat and potatoes of the 12 steps. The second ingredient to the 12 steps would be your fact finding or your guess sheet, right? At this stage, it is not an interrogation stage. It's an information stage. It's really where you begin to be the consultant. At this point, you're not selling anything. Remember, you just met someone, you're trying to get to know them. The meet and greet is the stage where you find out what the customer's intentions are, what they are looking for, and then narrow it down to the one vehicle that you have in inventory. I tried to be one of those guys that did everything for the customer. The guess sheet allows you, or the information stage, as well as the guess sheet, allows you to not have to walk around the lot with the customer. Mind you, when I sold cars, it was in Phoenix, Arizona. It's 110 degrees outside. Do you really want to put a customer through that torture? So what I did, even though we had about 17 acres of cars because we had so many different franchises on one lot, I would do all the work for the customer. And the only way I could do that was through an effective guess sheet. This information stage put me really in the driver's seat, and it also should put you in the driver's seat because you should know everything that's expected. You know, the form that you have, if there's a form in your dealership, if that's what you use, then it should pretty much direct you directly to all of the information that you need. There's name, address, email address, phone number, best way they want to be contacted. Right? Then what type of vehicle were they looking for? This is a great time for you to get a little bit more information by asking questions. This is not a answer question stage. It's an asking question stage. The more questions you ask, the closer to the sale you will become, right? Or you will be. So ask the questions on the sheet. It's pretty easy. You can pretty much do this in your head, even if the customer decides, hey, you know what? I don't want to go inside. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I know what I'm looking for. Here's what it is. You should remember the guess sheet in your head. You should be able to go down all the numbers on that sheet to be able to give that information to your sales manager so he can help you with your deal when the time comes, right? So if the customer does follow you inside and you decide to go ahead and follow the guess sheet process, you get all the pertinent information on the guess sheet. Don't skip anything. Down to I see what's missed a lot, and I think that is key. The biggest piece is, what are you driving now? What don't you like about the vehicle that you're driving now? Are you looking to upgrade? Or are you looking to downgrade? Are you looking to add to? Or are you looking to subtract from your fleet? These are questions that you need to ask customers so you can kind of set the stage. If they come in and say, I own it outright, what do you normally do, right? Instead of asking them how did they pay for it, did they pay for it over time? Did they write a check? How do they plan on this transaction happening? These are all questions that are on the guess sheet. The guess sheet gives you a lot of information, right? It gives you who they financed their vehicle with, how long they financed their vehicle, right? Sometimes customers can tell you what the interest rate was at the time that they financed the vehicle. Not that important, but at some point in time, that's going to come up. So you can't be afraid to ask those questions. The next biggest piece that I see when I was desking deals, constantly, salesmen would miss the customer's payment. What are your payments now on that 2020 Nissan Rogue, right? That's a big question not to have the answer to if they have a vehicle that they're making payments on. Because customers, and we all are, creatures of habit. We're comfortable making X amount of payments a month once it becomes a habit. So that gives you a little bit of knowledge of knowing what the customers used to be affording, right? So that's key. So I see that being missed a lot. Then you get down to the vehicle. Ask all the correct questions about the particular unit that they're looking for. Color. Why this color? Why this model? Have you owned one before? How long have you been looking? These are all great questions because now it sets the stage. let the customer talk. This is not the selling stage, it's the information stage. Just get information, right? All the way down to down payment and payment. Those are big areas. I've seen deals because I've owned GMC stores, and I've seen customers come in and they really think a $70,000 truck is a $600 a month payment, right? So we have to understand that we do this every day, the customer doesn't. So this is a consultation moment. I'm not saying you take 30 minutes of the customer's time. I am telling you to get information as much as you can so you could get that information to your sales manager so your sales manager can help you find the right vehicle that fits into that customer's budget. I've seen deals come back to the sales desk where we're missing the customer by $700, $800 to $1,000 a month. How can that be possible if you had the right information? That's all the guest sheet is about. It's about information. It's not about selling. Remember, this is not selling. The more information you have, the more knowledge you have about a customer's concern, the reason, right? You're trying to find their why are they here? Why did they show up today? Why did they choose this dealership outside of all the other dealerships they could go to? If you ask questions, you will get all of those answers. I had to learn on the fly, and it's just a little bit about me. When we sold cars, they didn't run credit, and you couldn't get a credit app in the beginning. You couldn't go and say, hey, customers got an edge of credit bill. Can you run their credit and see where they are? They didn't do that. The last thing we did for a customer, no matter how long you was with them, until you got a commitment, you didn't get any credit. We lived off of what they called the 3 cash credit commitment. I know we don't really do a lot of that anymore, but that's how it was for us. So if you was with a customer and you did a proper guest sheet, you could have that customer way off on the wrong car. Now you're going back outside, pulling up more vehicles, right? Wasting a lot more of your time, and you aren't there trading time for money, right? So you don't have time that needs to be wasted. Spend that additional 4 to 5 to 10 minutes with your customer, getting to know them and understanding their sales process. So the guest sheet is a tool. I used to see guest sheets coming up to the desk, crumbled up. It got creases in them. It just didn't look like a document that you were looking to make a car deal on. This document is the information that moves you forward to the next step or not. To me, I'd rather get an understanding of where I am in the beginning and know what I have than to be walking around on the lot for 2-3 hours with a customer and not know anything and be constantly guessing. The guest sheet takes all the guesswork out of the deal. It gives you that time to gather all that information to where in your mind you would know where you are with this customer. I understand you're not going to come in and when the sales manager pencils your deal, you're not going to be at the customer's payment. But would you be at a number that is probably obtainable financially for the customer if you did a proper guest sheet? Again, nothing in our business is 100%. There's an exception to every rule. But this guest sheet, you need to be able to remember this guest sheet, everything that's on it. So even if that guy says, or that young lady, or whoever it is that comes to the store, right, and says, hey, I don't want to do it that way, then you still ask the same questions and you retain all that information instead of giving them all the information. I was taught that you can't get information by answering questions. You have to ask questions. The guest sheet has all the questions on there for you. It makes all the sense in the world. To me, I don't know if you could go to a real estate agent, say, hey, I want to buy this home and it costs X amount of dollars, without them asking a lot of qualifying information before they even go show you one house. They're going to know, have you started your pre-approval process? Are you pre-approved? All these things are guest sheet items in that industry. And this is a major purchase as well. So doesn't it make sense to get this information in the beginning instead of being blindsided by what you didn't know when it comes down to making the deal? So I'm not going to go on and on about the guest sheet. I'm just saying a proper guest sheet is key to making profit and losing profit. And I hope you agree with me. Just try it. Just sit down. If you don't have a 12-step selling process, then you can comment. Let me know. I will get you a guest sheet to where you can look at it. You could go through it if your company's okay with that, you using that. I don't know. To me, I'm going to guest sheet you anyway in my mind, right? I'm going to ask you these questions to retain this information so that I can give it to the sales manager, so that will help me move my deal along faster. That is what the guest sheet is for. It's not the selling moment 10 minutes after you meet a customer. They know you are a sales professional, but you don't know what they are trying to accomplish today without asking questions and asking the proper questions. So I hope today that the guest sheet becomes way more important than it has been to you in the past, because that guest sheet is what made me become one of the top salespeople in the country. So please understand that that is an important piece. Slow in our business means fast, right? So slow down. When you skip steps and you're moving so fast, you're going to leave opportunities on the table. So if you like this video, please don't hesitate to like the video. You can leave comments, hit the notification button so you can know when the next episode is uploaded, and also subscribe to the channel, Cut Automotive. Thank you. Have a great day.